Hi there, it's Tracy from the PassioKnit Spinner, and as you can see, I'm back in my burglar outfit, all black, because it's the last day of the year, and that means we're doing the sweater recap video. I have my stack of sweaters here next to me. You cannot see it because, you know, height and stuff, but here we are, sweater recap. I have knit 14 sweaters this year. If you're new to my podcast, today is very different because I'm going to put on every sweater that I knit this year. Not on top of each other, but you know, I'm gonna wear all of them. And I do this every year on New Year's Eve. I've started doing this, I think 3 years ago. This is probably my 4th sweater recap video. I'm not sure, but I knit 14 sweaters this year. 2 from out of those 14 were for Tim. I don't know where to put my hands. I'm standing, which is, you know, what do I do with my hands? So 2 out of the 14 sweaters that I made were for Tim. 1 in the beginning of the year and 1 in the end of the year. The other ones are all for me. This year I had a bit of a, not a problem, but you know, lost confidence thing. I knit my first sweater, I finished it. It was a whip from last year. I'm gonna show it to you in a second. I knit that in January, and then the next sweater I made, I think I did in March or April. It was a crochet one, and then there was another gap. And starting in July, I think I did sweaters again. So I did the first half of the year. I finished maybe 2 or 3 sweaters. And then my sweater mojo kicked back into full gear, and I knit the rest of them. So let's start. The hair is quite, you know, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be horrible in a minute anyways. So let's go. First sweater of the year is the Extra Texture by Stephen West. It looks like this. This is an oversized boxy sweater. I knit this out of Rowan Sophiliac, and it is the warmest thing ever. So let's get started. I have long sleeves on today, which was probably a mistake, but who cares? So sweater number 1, Extra Texture by Stephen West. It is quite oversized, as you can see. I mean, my body is here. It is a very oversized sweater with also very oversized 3/4 length sleeves and this beautiful cable pattern. And yeah, like I said, it is so freakishly warm. I have not been able to wear it. I think I wore it once and I was like, I wanted to install a fan underneath it because it's so warm. The yarn is, it's just so warm, which is a good thing. You know, a warm sweater is great, but it's almost too warm and I keep, oh well. So yeah, that's the first sweater that I made this year. And then, or I started that one way before. So you go here. And the next one, I'm not gonna try on because the next one was for Tim. So the next sweater I did knit. I started this somewhere between Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve last year. It is a flex light for Tim. The yarn is opal stock yarn. I had 2 skeins and I knit this sweater. And I think it turned out so freakishly cute. So I have no idea what size I made. I probably did stitches for size 6 and length for size 8 because my son is very tall and slim. So this is it. Flex light. Modification, I didn't do garter on the sleeves. I just knit them straight down. So that is it. Sweater number 2 of the year. And I love it. I've made Tim a flex light every year, I think, since he's been born, and they all turned out so cute. So then, long break in sweater making, and the next sweater I made was crochet, and that was Jill's fault. Jill from the Cup of Tea and a Yarn podcast had made a leftover granny stripe thing sweater, and I saw that and was like, ooh, I love that. I want to make that too. So I did. I didn't use a pattern. She has a blog where she explained a bit how she did it, and that's what I did. And I have not worn this once since I finished it, because I have a blouse cut out that I want to wear with this, and it's just not done yet. So, but here it is. It is cropped. You know, I wanted to have that because my skirts go to here. So the knitted hem here, the knitted hem will basically cover the waistband of a skirt. So I did this on a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, I think. I started from the top down. It's basically a raglan. And then I did knitted hems. What's that? Go away. So I used this pink for the sleeves and this dark blue for the neckline and the bottom rib. And I think it turned out really cute. I want to wear it with a skirt, of course, and a blouse that I have laying around here that is going to have a white collar peeking out. So yeah, crochet sweater. I used mini skeins and leftovers, and yeah, I really think it turned out super cute. So that's sweater number 3. And yeah, I did learn how to edit so I could make this into a new sweater thing, but I didn't want to, because I think that the whole putting it on is just very me, you know? Okay, so after that, again, a long pause, and then we enter the summer top phase. Before this year, I knit maybe 3 or 4 summer tops, because I just really, you know, knitwear and summer just doesn't go together for me. And I changed that this year. So the next thing I made was this top. It is called Camisole number 4 or 5. I think it's 4. The pattern is by My Favorite Knitwear Designs. And I used Elan yarn with linen, viscose, cotton, I think, a blend. And I had 4 skeins. And I used all 4 of them. So it's this long. It is a V-neck, and it is very deep. You know, I usually wear things that end here. But I kind of love how this turned out. I think this looks so cute. The shaping is, you know, I love how the shaping happens for this top. I just think this turned out really nice. And on the back, it's the same, but, you know, just deeper. These cuppy things don't go up as far. And yeah, like I said, the yarn was from elan.com. I got it on D-stash from my mother. She wanted to get rid of it, no idea where it came from, but I had 4 skeins, used up every last bit, because this is a top-down pattern, so easy to use up everything. And I did, and I think the length is great, the fit is great. It feels really nice on the skin because it's all natural fibers. And yeah, so that was the first of the summer tops. And there are gonna be a few more now. So take that one off. Put it in here. Now, next up is the biggest fail of the year. I knit the Leiden top. I still do not know who the designer is. I'm sorry. It is from Pom Pom magazine, the summer issue of 2018. And it looks like this. And when I hold it up, you know, it looks super cool and interesting with those stripes and all the different directions and everything. But I'm gonna put it on, so, you know, you can see why I don't like it. If you happen to love this thing and you want to trade it for whatever, let me know, because I will never wear it. So, can you see? See where my problems start and begin with this? It's, yeah. This neckline is gigantic. I think the idea behind this top, so it looks like this. I used Lana Grossa something. I have no idea, I cannot remember. But it is also a viscose linen cotton yarn. So, yeah. The proportions are just wrong. They're all wrong for me. And I just really don't like it. I will never wear this. So I'm actually really not just saying that. If you want this and you think you will love it and wear it, let me know. I should say I'm a 39-inch bust, and there is a bit of positive ease, but not a whole lot. So it was really fun to make, but I don't like it. It's a fail for me, which is fine, you know, happens. You cannot love everything you make. But I was a bit heartbroken with this one because it was a lot of work and it looks so cool, but it's just shapeless. Maybe it doesn't work with my body. Who knows? I don't. And then I made a ranunculus. The pattern is by Knit Cafe Midori. And I mean, I think everyone has knit a ranunculus or 10 of them. I made it out of Katya linen, which is I think 100% linen or a cotton linen blend. I'm not quite sure. But I bought 4 skeins of this many years ago. And then I pulled them out this year and made this top. So, ranunculus, here it is. It is a bit it's a bit shorter than I would like, you know? I would have loved it to be a bit longer, but I had 4 skeins, used every last bit of it, and this is what I got. So this is the ranunculus. The pattern, I think, is written to use a lace weight yarn on a 6mm needle. And I used a DK weight yarn and a 5.5mm needle because I didn't want this to be any more see-through. So this is what I ended up with. It is a one-size-fits-all pattern initially, but there have been some extensions published to make it bigger, but you start out the same. So yeah, this is it. This is my ranunculus, and I really quite like it. I think it's a great summer top, especially because of the cotton linen blend of the yarn, you know? It's perfect for summer. Then we have one more specific summer top, and that one I like how it turned out in the end. So next we have the Tarmac Tank. Don't know by whom, but it's from the same pom-pom magazine as the Leiden. It is summer 2018, and it looks like this. It is written for a lace weight yarn. I used fingering weight yarn, leaning towards sport weight. And I did everything according to pattern, but the armholes were so big that I inserted the tiny leftover bits of the green that I had after finishing the body, because I used up, this is 2 different colors striped each row. And when I ran out of the red, you know, my body was done because I couldn't stripe it in anymore. So I had a bit of green left, and I used that to knit in these 2 little squares on each side to raise the armhole, because you could have seen everything through this. You know, we all know side boob can be a thing, but this thing would have revealed everything. So here it is. This is the Tarmac Tank. And can you see? That was where it's supposed to go. I didn't like that. So, like I said, I used 2 skeins of apple oak fibers from Ireland. They are a blend with rami, which is a plant fiber, and the green that I used for the I-cord is an opal sock yarn that I've had in my stash forever. It looks like this. It is that's the shape of it. It's like a triangle, and I think it turned out really nice. It's quite flattering, which is a term I actually hate, so I'm not sure why I used it, but I think this looks great, but also very deeply cut. You know, I don't usually wear these oops. I don't usually wear things that are cut so low because I'm too self-conscious, and yeah, let's not go there. Okay, so then the summer sweater craze ended and I knit a vest. This is the Friday slipover, I think, by Petite Knit. And it looks like this. I used Lana Grossa yarn for this. And this is 2 yarns held together. I had a sock yarn blend with glitter, and the other one is called Suri Seta, which is like a kid silk, but not with mohair, but alpaca instead. So, and this is how that turned out. I love how it looks. And it was super easy to knit. I used 4 skeins each. I got them in my local yarn shop after I went to the dentist, because you know, when you go to the dentist, you get to reward yourself afterwards. And so this is how the Friday slipover looks. I really like it. The length, I could have made it a bit longer, to be honest. But again, I ran out of one of the 2 yarns and I didn't want to get another skein just to add 2 centimeters and have a huge leftover. So this is where we are. I think it's still great, you know, and it is super warm. The alpaca content of this makes this so warm. I mean, I have worn it a few times, but not very often because it's just too warm. I love the shaping. I love how that looks. And also on the neckline, we have the same kind of shaping. And yeah, it's just a very classy, it's brown, which is my favorite color for clothes, you know, for me, which you cannot tell looking at the things that I made, but I love this one so much. I think it's going to be quite the staple for the coming years. Okay. Now, after I finished this one, we went on vacation. Wait, okay. I'm almost ready. Both straps just decided to go missing. Okay, so after that, we went on vacation and I decided to take with me a long-standing whip. And it is the Wendys Pullover. The pattern is from Interweave magazine, and I do not know when. 2016, 15? I really don't know. The pattern is by Ruthie Nussbaum, and it looks like this. So it's supposed to be longer, but I couldn't make it longer. I mean, I could have in the end. I had a lot of yarn left, but I didn't know that before because this is knit bottom up. And it has this super cute collar. And in the back, it has buttons. So I made this to look very vintage, which I love. And I'm not sure if I've actually worn it since I finished it. I don't think I have. I haven't even taken pictures of it yet, but here it is. It is quite short, you know, it's very cropped. But when I pair this with my skirts or a specific dress that I want to sew, I think this is going to look super, super cute. I really want to make another one and make that one then a tiny bit longer because now I know I can. But I think this turned out so cute, and that's the back view. It's just so pretty, and the yarn that I used is Malabrigo sock. No idea what the colorways are, but the color, that lilac-y gray, was left over, and the other one I had 2 skeins, but they were vastly different. I feel like every time I use Malabrigo sock yarn, it is the 2 skeins that I have are so different, but it turned out really pretty in the end, so who cares? It's also, it's supposed to be completely seamed, and I didn't do that. I did seam in the sleeves. They were, you know, set in, but I did knit the body and the round. So that is Wendys Pullover. It is really cute. I think this is one of the cutest things I've made. And I started that like 3 years ago. It's been on the needle forever. Okay, now we enter into long sleeve sweater territory. Next thing I made was my whatever sweater, and this is version number 3. I made 2 last year, and this is version number 3. The first one I did is normal-ish length with 3/4 sleeves. The second one is super cropped with short sleeves. And this one is normal length and long sleeves. Because if I want to do the same pattern a few times, you know, I just should switch it up. So this is it, the whatever sweater. The pattern is by Julie Knits in Paris. It is a super easy sweater to make. It is written to use up sock yarn scraps held double, and I used 6 different skeins of sock yarn and no scraps, and just held them together and striped them the way I thought would work. And I really love how this turned out. I think this is so pretty, and I made this specifically to go with a dress, and I have to say the 2 things just worked together wonderfully. And I've worn this a few times. It's also very warm because, you know, it's sock yarn held double, but I just love it. I think this is one of my favorite makes of the year. Yeah, just super happy with this. I don't know what else to say. Okay. Whew. Now, only a few left. Okay, the next thing that I did was a boxy. So I have a boxy already. So this is boxy number 2. Boxy number 1 is being worn a lot, especially around the house with a pair of leggings. So I decided I needed another one. And the pattern for the boxy is by Joji Locatelli. And I used Schoppelwolle, Admiral, just a normal sock yarn. I got it at their factory outlet shop. It was super cheap, and this is my boxy. I adore it. I really love it. I think this is one of those just super easy sweaters. You know, I throw it on, I throw it in the washing machine. I could actually throw it in the dryer. I will not, but I could. And I wear it all of the time. This is, you know, out of the things that I made this year, this is definitely my most worn. So yeah, I knit the smallest size because the boxy is super oversized. You know, this is the sweater and this is my body. So there's a lot of extra fabric here, which is the design, you know, that is what it's supposed to be. But I don't like it when it is super extremely big. And I mean, this is still extremely big, but not freakish. So yeah, that's the boxy. I did no modifications. I just knit the smallest size and went from there. And because it's a single layer of sock yarn, it's not super warm and it has short sleeves. And yeah, I just really love this sweater, and I probably will make another one because it's so easy to knit. It's the most brainless pattern ever for you to knit, you know. There went a lot of brain power into creating the pattern, but knitting it is so easy. It's just perfect. So, and then because I had done a lot of easy stuff, you know, I ventured into not so easy, and I made this sweater for Tim. This is a Tim's Christmas jumper of the year, and I put together 2 different patterns. The basic pattern for the sweater shape is from I don't remember. It's from an English knitting magazine, both patterns that I used. And the tree was also, it's from, I think Let's Knit was the magazine, but I changed the whole chart basically. So yeah, so that's the sweater. The yarn for the tree has little sequins in it. And I used a lot of yarns together to create this sweater. So for this thing here, I used 4 different yarns. The tree is 2 different yarns. And then I had this awful gold glitter stuff that Tim loves, and I crocheted this star. Also used it in the ribbing of on all the edges, you know. And the main yarn is a yarn from Grundelwolle. I don't remember the name, but it is an alpaca blend and it is actually quite scratchy. So he has to wear a long sleeve sweater underneath, but he still loves it, so that's good. And look at how big this is. I mean, I will not fit into the sleeves, but I'm pretty sure that I could wear the sweater. My child is getting big. So 2 more. Only 2 more. So my last finished full-on sweater for the year is the Megalara sweater. I showed this off in my podcast yesterday, but I'm gonna put it on anyways because that's what this video is about. So this is a intarsia pattern. The pattern is by Shiny Superhero and it is a paid for pattern and it's glorious. So let's put it where it should be. Okay, so this is it, Megalara sweater. Mega warm as well. I used Stoppelwolle Alpaca Queen. This thing is knit on a 6mm needle. Alpaca Queen for the gray, and those dots are all hand spun. So I have this yarn that's, you know, in these 2 dots. Then I have the blue, gray, white, black. That is also this big one here in the back. And I have this yarn here. That's only in this one spot. So yeah, my Megalara sweater, it's an intarsia pattern. It is knit in 1 piece, but you have to seam it. So you do seam these edges here, but I don't mind seaming. I really don't. It has a it has a split hem that I'm unable to show because I have something black on, and this is a gray sweater. So yeah, the sleeves are a bit long. I'm usually a fan of not so long sleeves, but I mean, I can see the appeal because it's a very warm sweater. So having long sleeves could be really nice. And I am also one of those people, you know, my sleeves end up somewhere around the elbow anyways. So it doesn't matter. So that was the last real sweater that I made for myself. And then I kind of had the urge to cast on another thing. And I did. I cast on another thing and I finished it. So let's put on the last sweater that I have made. And it is this vest. This vest has no pattern yet, no name yet. If you have an idea, throw it my way. I want to write up this pattern because I made a vest with the exact same pattern last year. And now I did this one. And I think it could become a good pattern. I don't know. I'll try. So this is it. The last thing I made this year. This is a vest and I made it out of Rowan Thick and Thin. I used 5 skeins. It is a top-down V-neck vest with I-cord edgings around the top and a 2x2 rib in the bottom. And the back is, you know, it's a full back. It goes all the way up to the neck. So yeah, that's the last sweater I made this year. Like I said, the vest has no name yet. But I do want to give it a name because I want to write up the pattern for it. And it's super easy. It was really quick. I knit this in 3 days, I think. And I love how it turned out. It is also very warm because this was knit on 8mm needles. But because it has no sleeves, you know, it's not super melty. It's just warm and nice and snuggly. So I think this turned out really cute. And that is it. These are were the 14 sweaters that I made this year. 12 were for me. So I basically knit a sweater a month for myself and 2 for my son. And for next year, I do want to be more intentional with the makes for myself to fit into my, you know, wardrobe in a good way. I want to make another sweater for Tim, of course, probably 2, because that's been like the go-to thing. I usually make 2 or 3 sweaters for him. And I also really want to make a sweater for my husband, or 2. I would love to make 2. But my husband is a large man. I mean, he's very tall and he's broad shoulders, and yeah, it's a lot of work, but I will make him a sweater next year. So that is it. Me and my 14 sweaters, they're all here now in this thing, crate. And I'm gonna put them away now. I'm going to have a great New Year's Eve. I hope you will have a wonderful 2022. And I will talk to you again next week when I record my normal podcast. Bye.